The three main flipping strategies, and a lot of this will kind of intertwine as we go through this. But number one is going to be flipping houses, right? Now some of you guys are thinking, well, this is real estate. I thought that's all we did was flip houses. Not necessarily. I'll tell you the difference here in just a second, right? But flipping houses is basically what you're used to, HGTV stuff, right? This is buy a house, fix it up, resell it, okay? Now, this is fun, it's exciting, they always tell a great story on TV, but in the end, one of the challenges to buying, fixing up, and reselling, one of the many challenges, right, is the fact you have to fund it, right? Somebody's got to come up with the money. Now, I'm not saying that's an impossible thing to overdo. I've done well over 100 renovations over the years, right? Probably close to 200. And out of those, probably 50% of them, I didn't put one penny of my own money into the deal, right? These were joint ventures, private money, hard money, all kind of different things, strategies that we use. So there's plenty of ways to do renovations without any of your own money, but it takes time, clearly, to cultivate those relationships. Now, if you've already got a wealthy uncle who wants to fund your deals, that's why I wanted to put this out there. Maybe that's a strategy you start with. For the most of us, for the majority of us, if you don't have access to funds like that, you may have to start with a different strategy. Number two is going to be flipping terms, okay? There's something valuable in the real estate world that is different than buying and selling maybe other smaller priced items, is that by creating good terms on a real estate deal, oftentimes you can make money simply because those terms are so valuable to an end buyer, right? And so I know, is Jonathan Faircloth here by chance tonight? Is Jonathan here tonight? Jonathan has carved out a nice little niche for himself. He does a lot of subject to deal properties where he then flips those as lease options, right? So if you're able to negotiate good terms with the seller, a lot of times that's basically what you're flipping. So if you negotiate owner financing and then turn around and do that as like a mortgage wrap or sell it on a land contract or what have you, you're basically taking the terms you negotiated that, flipping that to an end buyer, making a profit there. Buying subject to and then reselling on lease option, that's again another option to do. So again, this is where you're basically making a profit by creating good terms and then flipping those terms to the end buyer. It's not necessarily for everybody, right? But I want to make sure if you want to carve out a specific niche in those areas, you want to learn more about that, that is a very viable strategy being used by a lot of investors in our area and certainly around the country, okay? So it's flipping terms. Number three, and this is going to be the most common, is flipping paper, right? Sometimes we talked about this, for you guys have been around here before, you've heard me say this, when you're a wholesaler, you're not flipping houses. In fact, you have to be very cautious that you don't say you're selling houses, because you're not, right? Now you're kind of getting into this world of acting as a realtor without a license. You're not selling the house, you're selling the contract. You're selling the equitable rights that you have via that contract, right? So when we're wholesaling deals, we are flipping paper, right? And so again, for those of you that are sitting here and you hear me say wholesaling, you don't know what that is, it's basically just getting a property under contract and selling the contract, right, that you have. If I can buy something for $50 and I got somebody who's willing to pay $55 for it, I get $5,000 for selling them my contract for $50. Very, very basic concept, right? That's what most people are doing when they are flipping houses, no money down, okay? That's wholesaling. Now you can do that with notes, for those of you that are not, it's another niche. So you find somebody who has an owner finance mortgage, you put the mortgage under contract to buy that price, you can turn around and resell that to somebody else as well. But more commonly, what most people in here are doing, what most of our investors here, the most people that are going to do a deal in the next 30 days or less, right, it's going to be wholesaling. So that's why I'm going to spend most of my time on that aspect of real estate tonight. But again, we've taught on everything over the last 7 years. You can learn all of it on the website, and certainly moving forward, we'll talk about a number of different strategies as well.